See this? This is my new setup. Okay, just putting a curtain just right here and in my room because I can't be fucked to clean my room. So I know a bit of laziness, but also a bit of a different thing. And technically, if this was properly ironed out, I would have probably green screened it and be like, "Hey, I'm at the Tyranid War against the Blood Angels. Dude, that shit's fun. Ha 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 ha." Back to you. The news reporting that Dante is going to be cut in half. Oh, wait, that's Mining X Cargo. Anyways, greetings, brothers, and welcome to another video. And as you know, and hopefully you know, there was a game called Darktide. It had a closed beta. It lasted for a couple of days and then went poof out of the existence. And obviously, myself have tried it out. And as you probably already know, so many other content creators in 40k have already done videos about it and gave their opinions, the majority of it. And pretty much I'm going to do the same because why not? It could be a different field of area that I could do. Maybe not, maybe yes, but then again, it ain't nothing special. It's like, this is game. It has good and it has bad. My opinion. Rated out of 10. Now, with the game itself, what I've played in it, so far, it's been pretty good. Without being ironic, it's actually pretty good. The only thing that was negative was being disconnected, but that also has like a little bit of a save behind it. Is once you get disconnected and you're trying to restart the game and then go back in, you can always continue where you started with the game and go back to the same game that you were in and just continue about it. And I said that twice. Fuck. But sometimes that's not always the case, but at least they did something in order for you to like continue that experience with it. It well, then again, I've played a bit of Destiny 2, so I can only relate to that game. I don't know if there was any other game that has very similar things, but it does have that Destiny 2 feeling because the main menu itself, when you get in, very similar to Destiny 2, and especially reconnecting to the current game that you're in, definitely Destiny 2. And overall, that's the very short end of the overview about the game. Obviously, there's some irrelevant shit that I sincerely don't give a shit about it because right now, the game itself needs to be released as a game that is actually good. Sure, there's going to be bugs, but as long as they're ironed out as much as possible to make the game experience fun and enjoyable and you can play with your mates without any difficulty. Obviously, fun, very subjective name, but all I can say is, as long as it is a enjoyable 40k game and then it can last long, and then you can add a little bit more to it afterwards, like during the game or a little bit further off the life cycle of the game where you can add, fuck it, you know what? Might as well slap in mods or just, other shit with it. Which overall, that won't be too bad, but for now, as a game itself, I sincerely don't give a shit of any other add-ons because it's probably unnecessary for the meantime. So for the meantime I want a game that is released and it would be a full-built, baked game. I can't relate so many other games that are not fully made and then they make it better later, which was pointless to even release in the first place. Now, I'm just going to put a big disclaimer, even though I said it at the start. This is not a game review or anything like that. This is pretty much just my thoughts about the game. Nothing too special. And giving some points what I've enjoyed about and the things that were negative, aka fucking disconnecting and shit. But other than that, there wasn't anything dramatic about the closed beta and shit. The gameplay of Darktide itself, the closed beta Darktide, is what you expect from Fatshark, as they mentioned that they're going to do a lot more than Vermintide 2, which it does look like that. So the changes and tweaks that I've done into the game is, instead of being in your private lobby, you go to some sort of like a public lobby where, you just gotta have be with randos and just chatting shit and stuff and other random shit. So it does have that Destiny 2 vibe, to be honest. So just slap that blue man called Zavala and then everything will be fine.
Now that you are done shooting, you are no longer having fun. But at that point, it's not my problem anymore. I shoot, therefore I aim.
And obviously that menu is not too bad. There are some places that don't seem to be ready yet, so it is kind of like a foreshadowing of this is a place that you can do XYZ. Now, I could guess what it could be. I could say it could be this XYZ, But most likely, I would say just wait for the game to be released and they will actually show what it is. The only 2-3 sections there is a mission select, a tutorial kind of thing where you can do, and then obviously you have like a shop where you can buy weapons and shit. And the higher you get, the better it is, and you fuck shit up. And the higher level is your character, which I will discuss about that a little bit later, the better weapons you will get, which is fucking boggers. But unfortunately, I didn't get enough time to, unlock every single weapon, The highest that I've got was like sharpshooter, which was in 11. But unfortunately, I didn't get a chainsaw, so... Character customization is really good. I really enjoyed it myself. The characters itself is not set in stone. It's like you have Kruber, you have Carillion and Barden and Saltspire and other setup characters. The characters is pretty much more you. That this character is you, and you are going to Tertium and other etc. So they're putting a lot of like a little bit more customization into the characters. Okay, not as like as much as XYZ game, but compared to previous and now game of Fat Shark, you have a bit more variety of what to do with your characters, what they sound like, and how they look like in appearance. And while the height thing is, you only grow a couple of inches. That's it. But overall itself, from body type, voices, and what planets you like to be, like aka Cadia. What do you get Centers for? What class would you like to play as? So there's a lot of those things that, defines what character you wanted to play as, yourself in that world, which I think I pretty appreciated that. Now, there's a small tangent. It's just me. I really appreciate, David Rintel's, fucking voice acting as Barden. He's... I don't know, man. Like, for me, it could be one of those things where I'm just, like, very odd. When you get used to with some voice actor being this character, and then it just it feels like radically changed to a different character, it does make me step a little bit back and be like, nah. Personally, he would have been played like better off as a rogue trader, like some human, who had like that kind of voice. But for him to play as an Ogryn doesn't feel right for me, though. It's weird because that voice could have had so many other possibilities, but for him to be an Ogryn is weird because obviously I depict Ogryn very differently. Like, it's weird. It's like Ogryns are like kind of like orcs in a way, kind of, where they have that deep voice, British hooligan football man.
Make haste, chaps. Acquire some points if it isn't terribly inconvenient.
Obviously, there was another two voices that I think, they were either close to the mark or, spot on, which was, appreciated it. But, just the Barden's voice doesn't feel right on the Ogryn. Just me, though. But obviously, some people just slap it in because it's funny. Character customization, really good. Barden's voice, I'll probably get used to it. That's most likely what's going to happen. I'll probably get used to it and be like, yeah, that's right. And then when I go back to Vermintide 2, I'll just probably say the opposite. Maybe. Now, there's something that I think one of the things that would have most likely need some minor improvements, just like a small one, which I just thought of just right now in my head. And it's that for the, it's more for those players who play the game for long term and have already like played every single class. And whenever they create a new class at some point, there should be an option, at least like a pop-up window, to say, okay, should I want to do a tutorial again just for the gist of it, or not to do the tutorial because I already know XYZ everything in the game, so why the fuck should I spend another 5 to 15 minutes in a fucking tutorial? I don't think I need that. Now, overall mechanics into the game when you play those 3 main maps, like one is the executing, one is like, slap some fucking ammo into the plane and boof, there you go, you're gone. Or just, slap some generators in order to work. There's a couple of good meta things into the game, which was pretty neat. So the movement is not that bad. I think it has a bit more variety. Obviously, it feels a bit easier than, Vermintide 2, where you just walk around and just dodge and shit. Like, even though it does feel easier, but I have a feeling that, yes, it will be easier, but at the same time, it does have some drawbacks. For example, you sprinting, but that sprint lowers your stamina. And if you run out of your stamina, that means you won't block that much. So it really depends with that. And plus, it was a beta, so there wasn't like that many like chords or some shit, but I'm curious when I get to the point where I gotta play higher difficulties. It will be really interesting to try it out. Like, maybe my opinion might change with the mechanics and see if it was like either too easy or you just needed to play at a higher difficulty in order to be like having like actual trouble with it, and then you just be like, yeah, probably need the mechanics and shit. But yeah, I'm babbling, but you know what I mean though. And there was another thing that I thought it was like temporarily health, but it's called toughness, which that was a very interesting mechanic they slapped it in. So, and also obviously I got a little bit confused when I got shot a lot and then just got stunned out of nothing by just getting shot at like from a gunner, and I was like, what the fuck is this? So, roughly, as far as I understand, like toughness is, for you to take an amount of health in before like your actual health bar goes down. And with the toughness, if it goes down and you get hits, most likely you're going to be slowed down and you're going to be stunned a lot. Unless you have your stamina with your block, which is most likely, but if you get shot, yeah, you're going to be stunned a lot and most likely going to be hit. So, I do understand some people feel like it was a bit easy, but at the same time, I do see like the counter of it. But at the same time, I only got to play like that amount of much into the game, so I couldn't say much. But then again, for me, when I got into the game, I saw more like the visuals, the lore and stuff, and if the game is fun itself, I focus more on that instead of just being like, hey, let me put my nerd glasses and see the actual statistics of 4 to 6% if it does more damage. Oh my god, you know what I mean. So pretty much like I don't focus on mechanics in the game itself in order to be more competitive or other shenanigans. But hopefully you get what I mean. I focus on the mainly like story and nice visuals, and the game is fun. And also that's another cool thing is characters have that Vermintide vibe where they talk a lot of shit, which I do appreciate. That does make me think of how I got into Vermintide 2, not because of it's Warhammer Fantasy or anything. It's because you go in, you slap some rats, characters are talking shit to each other. The song is, I'll talk about the song later. The songs are really good, and that's where I got really invested into the Vermintide 2. So it's very similar with Darktide. Obviously a little bit different. It's not for everyone. That's fine, understandable. Obviously there's no Space Marine, so cry about it. You already have Space Marine 2, so wait for that game and you'll be happy about it. Darktide is human only. The Emperor has decreed that Space Marines are not allowed to be in a human game. Anyways, what else I was going to think about? So yeah, that's pretty much it that I can think of me just babbling around, even though I have a script right there. But I do babble around. But I think I mainly hit main of the points around that I want to hit on. So I'm going to talk about the music part. Normally I would have scrapped it, but I just want to bring something into it. There was nothing negative about it. It was more of, okay. And then in the beta, they slapped some really good shit, which I really enjoyed. I was like, yes, good, better. Because when they released their official music, and before they released the second official music, I think, in the YouTube channel, which was a couple of days ago, and from what I'm recording right now, which is on the 22nd of 10th, 2022. So yeah, so mainly I'm just going to talk about like the two musics that I really enjoyed. So obviously, when they released their official music on their YouTube channel, I was kind of like, meh. It was alright, but it wasn't like very uplifting or anything, which, yeah, cool. But then again, compare that to Vermintide 2, official music, I think that was a bit more better than this one, in my opinion, of course. Some other people really enjoyed that, But for me, I'll explain where I'm coming from this. So whenever there's a 40k game, so like Space Marine, well, Space Hulk doesn't have music really, it's just like ambient noise going whoop whoop. Anyways, there's that, or some other games like Chaos Gate and that Blood Angel game that I just forgot, or the most famous one, Mechanicus, and much more. And usually when there's a 40k game, there's usually has this, I don't have the word in the top of my head right now, but it was more like orchestral, kind of heroic kind of music. So it always had that dark feeling of setting, where in that visual music was a bit off for me. So I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. I couldn't say much of what I can think of. It was a bit off. But then, when the closed beta came out, and I went to fight the boss, you know, I had some, you know, that's some real shit. That's some real fucking music right there for me, because it's very uplifting. It makes you like go into it and be like, all right, Jim, smack his nuts. Nice. Okay, technically, it's kind of last moment thought that I just thought of is, I will show some music and give you some guys like where I'm coming from. Is the way when I think of a 40k game is usually music like this. And then Darktide is, you know, the official one is meh until they release the beta and just, you know, pump that up, and which is more promising. Now to give like the extra thing now when they released another official music in the in their YouTube channel in Fashok. Yeah, I kind of like it. It's very nice. You know, it does feel like the name itself is very, it has a very nice comparison with the name and the song itself, because Immortal Imperium, and has that kind of feeling with it. But overall, the music itself is not bad, and I hopefully just going to see more music that is going to come out either on Fatshot's YouTube channel, or when the game gets released, I'm going to get to hear even more music, and just going to be, you know, just going to be blast away on some really good shit, or just be a bit meh on some. So far, one meh, two good, well, one good and one really good, which I really enjoyed. Alright, map design. Map design is spot on. Well, from what I've witnessed so far. The map design itself is what I expected to be what 40k is. It's dark, it's bleak, you know, it has that, you know, you're in the dark space and it's, you know, outside of the planet, and it just feels right, you know. As far as I've noticed on the map itself, when I gave a look around, it is pretty solid on the point. And not only that, the only thing I've noticed as well is when the more you play the game, the more detail you see, and the more you can appreciate the amount of effort that developers have put in. Obviously, you know, the other attributes, which is the music, the gameplay of it, you know, you don't just eat the salad, you put more variety in the salad, if that makes sense at all, then it makes it more enjoyable. Which, as far as I'm aware, with the map design itself, it is not that bad. Obviously, as far as I'm aware, it does have that, you know, linear design as they've done in Vermintide 2, which that's not an issue as far as I'm aware with me, but I really enjoy that the aesthetic of it, of the maps they have made, is really spot on. And plus, you know, when you play the maps, you know, you see everything, you know, being fucked up and you being infested by chaos, because chaos is already looming into the city, which, and at the very least, when you go to the mission selection, and if you look up, at least there's a big fucking planet, so, you know, what can I say? I can't complain. It was fucking good. I liked it. Now, with all the stuff shown in the closed beta, I don't think there is much shown in the lore. Like, don't worry, I'll probably make one when I get the chance, when the game gets released, and put my thousands of hours into the game and just be like top tier ever and just win tournaments with a flick of my fingers. You know, it's nothing that much. But the lore itself, there wasn't any updates to the game other than just be like, you team, go to this section in order to do this mission, and then, you know, complete it. So there wasn't anything, you know, something that amazing. Well, I wouldn't say that amazing, but it was more of, there wasn't anything new to the story as far as I'm aware, or any updates. But, you know, I'm pretty hopeful that there's going to be like some story to tell at some point, or, you or something that will give some players to get invested into the lore, into that game itself. But I can't really say. But I will probably make another Darktide video when the time has come. But for the meantime, yeah, there's no lore on that one. That is all I have to mention. So if I had to suggest or recommend the game, I would personally say give it a week or two. Because, so they can iron it out and make everything, an easier ride for you to just go into the game and play without any difficulty. But in the end, it is your money. You can do whatever you want. You earned it. You deserve it. Do whatever the fuck you want. But if you want my personal opinion, sure, just wait for a bit. Doesn't hurt. Because sometimes the game might, just flop, and then it was good enough for you to wait and you just spending your money on something else. Whatever. But that is all I have for now. Thank you for watching, my brothers. And yeah, take care.